What's happening, everyone? It's me, it's Count, here with an all-new Pokemon Go video. Today I'm going to be talking about the Lunar New Year event that just dropped in Pokemon Go. I'm going to be talking about ways you could fully utilize this event. I'm going to be giving you some strategies and some tips, and I'm going to be giving my opinion regarding this event, whether I think it's actually a really good event for Pokemon Go and its players, or it's something that Niantic could have improved on. But I'm going to be talking about all of that. But real quick, if you end up enjoying this video, do me a favor and hit that like button and share this with your friends. And if it's your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell. That would help me out a great deal. And without further ado, let's get right into this event. So if you look at this infographic from LeakDuck, I really suggest you go and follow him on Twitter, or you could go to leakduck.com to get all of his cool infographics. He does a lot of great work. But if you look at this graphic, it basically gives you everything you need to know regarding this event. So the event is going to be going until February 13th, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So based on where you are at, it's going to be 1 o'clock, or it's going to be 3 o'clock, or depending on where you are in the world, it could be different from that. So really pay attention to your time zone and determine how long you are going to have this event, because you really want to utilize this event all the way up to the last minute, because you're going to be able to get a whole bunch of experience. Now, here are the bonuses for this event. You're going to be getting double catch experience and double evolve experience, as well as increased lucky trade rates. So yeah, when it comes to experience, if you are not level 40, if you are looking to get higher in the world rankings in terms of experience, this is the event for you. Double catch experience is a big deal, especially if you are able to land curveballs, if you are confidently able to catch Pokemon on the first throw. You could get upwards of 800 experience per catch with a lucky egg. That is a huge deal, especially if you consider that if you go to a cluster spawn, you could catch upwards of 20 to 30 Pokemon within 5 minutes. So that is a ton of experience with lucky eggs. That's something you need to keep in mind. Now, something that I found very interesting is that they brought back double evolution XP. So this is a really big deal, because if you think about evolutions, if you do a string of evolutions with a lucky egg, this is by far the best way for you to get experience, aside from getting best friends and ultra friends. Now, this is a huge deal, because if you were to get 4 times the amount of experience, you can get upwards of 150 to 180,000 experience per lucky egg within a 30-minute period. That is a monstrous amount of experience. And if you evolve a whole bunch of Pokemon during this event, you can get upwards of like 5 million to 10 million within a couple of days. That's the potential behind this bonus in particular. Now, for the longest time, Niantic hasn't brought back this bonus from any event, even if there was a double catch XP as part of the event. And that is because the sheer amount of experience that you can get just from evolutions is absolutely insane. So this is the big bonus that you need to utilize during this event. And I'm going to be talking about how you could fully utilize your lucky eggs with evolutions in just a minute here, but let's go over the rest of the bonuses. So this is one in particular that I'm really happy about: increased lucky trade rates. Now, when it comes to Pokemon right now, there is a lot of RNG when it comes to IVs, when it comes to getting luckies. And of course, luckies, especially with PvP, it's always going to be useful, because they always give you a pretty decent IV. And as well as that Stardust reduction, that is a huge deal, especially if you're trying to save Stardust for different moves, if you're trying to save Stardust to get Pokemon to an exact CP. This is a really great thing for you to do. So I really suggest, if you are just stocking up on a whole bunch of Pokemon that you could potentially get lucky, definitely go and trade with your friends, because you definitely want to pick up as many luckies as you can during this event. In fact, like when I tested this out, I was able to pick up 3 luckies out of 20 trades, which is a pretty big deal. 2 of those luckies ended up being a Meltan as well as a Swinub, which is going to be extremely useful for community days. So if you have a whole bunch of Swinub, or if you have a buddy who has a whole bunch of Swinub, it would be worth trading for those right now, because having a whole bunch of lucky Swinub going into community day is a really great idea. So definitely trade with your friends. Don't miss out on this bonus. This is a pretty big deal. Now, of course, with every event, we have increased spawns of particular Pokemon, and this time they're doing something really unique. They're going to have different Pokemon representing different aspects of the Chinese zodiac, different animals from the Chinese zodiac spawning at an increased rate. We have Rattata, which represents the rat. We have Miltank, which represents the ox. We have Electabuzz, which represents the tiger, interestingly enough. We have Baniri, which represents the rabbit. We have Dratini, which represents the dragon. Ekans, representing the snake. Ponyta, representing the horse. Mareep as the sheep. Monkey as the monkey. Mankey as the monkey, actually. Torchic as the rooster. Poochyena as the dog. And of course we have Spoink as the pig. Now, what is so important about these particular Pokemon? Well, if you think about some of them, they are extremely meta relevant. Like if we think about Electabuzz, it's really good. We have Torchic, which will eventually be a Community Day Pokemon. So it's great that we're getting those in mass so that we can get high IVs before the Community Day move comes out. And then of course we have Dratini, Ponyta, Mari, Poochyena, and Spoink, which can all be shiny. So there is a huge selection of Pokemon that are spawning rapidly right now that has the potential of being shiny. So go out and catch as many as you can. Now I want to draw the attention to some of the other ones that I did not mention, more specifically Rattata, Mankey, and Ekans, as well as Baniri. Now why do I think these Pokemon in particular are a bit special when it comes to this event? Well, I actually like the fact that we're going to be getting a lot of these Pokemon because they have somewhat cheap evolution costs. And what that means is that you could get a whole bunch of these Pokemon throughout your day of grinding, and then at the end of the day you can mass evolve them for a whole bunch more experience. I like the way that Niantic kind of set this up. You have a whole bunch of Pokemon that could potentially be shiny, you have a handful of Pokemon that are meta relevant, and then you have a whole bunch of Pokemon that may not necessarily be special, but because we have this double experience bonus for evolutions currently in this event, I like the fact that Niantic also included some Pokemon that have cheap evolution costs so that you could grind up these Pokemon en masse and then evolve them at the end of the day and fully utilize these bonuses. Really smart on you, Niantic. And of course I can't go on without mentioning that we do have a new shiny, and that is Spoink. So Spoink is spawning in mass. It's really hard for you to miss out on Spoink right now, and if you want a brand new shiny, this is the one that you can target. And of course we also have Poochyena, which is not a new shiny per se, but it is one that I've been wanting for a very long time. These shiny dogs are the only shinies that I care about, so I'm really glad that they brought back Poochyena as an event Pokemon, and there's just a whole bunch of them out there for me to get. Hopefully I'll be able to get a shiny this time. We'll just have to wait and see. Now I did mention that with this event we're going to be getting an increased spawn rate of Pokemon like Rattata and Ekans. A lot of these Pokemon have very cheap evolution costs. Like Rattata only costs 25 candies, and of course if you have a whole bunch of them with a whole bunch of candies, you could mass evolve just Rattatas and you'll be just fine. Now something that I tend to do when it comes to evolution strings is that I tend to only evolve Pokemon that I have a whole bunch of candy for, as opposed to just evolving whatever I have available. I really think if you want to utilize this bonus to the most efficient way possible, I really think you should evolve as many Pokemon as you can, doesn't matter what it is. If you have a whole bunch of Swinub, for example, and about 2,000 to 3,000 candies saved up, I really suggest you evolve them all to Piloswine and having them ready for the move when the Community Day drops. And when it comes to other Pokemon who are meta relevant, you could at least evolve them to their second evolution as opposed to their fully evolved form. Like for example, if you have a whole bunch of Erins, or if you have a whole bunch of Torchics or Piplups or etc., you could evolve them to their second stage and eventually get them to their third stage when their Community Day shows up, or if you just want to transfer them, you could go ahead and do that right there. I really think you should evolve as many Pokemon as you possibly can, regardless if you have lucky eggs or not, because this is the best way for you to get experience during this event. When it comes to string evolutions with lucky eggs, efficiency is key. What you should really do is target having about 75 to 80 evolutions per lucky egg. This is the ideal. If you want to squeeze in as many evolutions as you possibly can with one lucky egg, I really suggest you reduce as much lag as you possibly can. That means clearing your cache before you start evolving, resetting your phone if you have to, or restarting the game, because you want to reduce as much lag as possible. You want to be able to squeeze in as many evolutions as you can, because that is a whole bunch of experience that you could be missing out on with each lucky egg. Because let's say you have have 1 second of lag, you're going to miss out on 1 evolution. That means you're going to miss out on possibly 2,000 experience points just from missing that 1 evolution. So this is a pretty big deal. I really suggest you just make sure you clear out your cache. It could be as simple as that. Now, something else that I like to do when I string evolve is that I like to go to google.com and look up stopwatch, because they have a nice stopwatch kind of widget that's right there on Google. You could set it to 30 minutes and then have that coincide with my lucky eggs. This is important because you do not want to miss out on an evolution because you didn't evolve enough, like you stopped your evolution string about a minute early, or you don't want to miss out on experience by over evolving. Like if you evolve a minute over, you don't want to go over, you don't want to go under, because of course candies are limited and you're going to end up spending more candy than you can get with this event. So you want to evolve as many different Pokemon as you can. You want to be as efficient as you possibly can and utilize each lucky egg as efficiently as you possibly can. Now, one very small trick that a lot of players somehow do not know about, and of course this only really works for Android users, but if you press the back button on your phone after an evolution happens, you go to the Pokemon storage page a lot faster, and this could actually cut down a couple of seconds and allow you to squeeze in a few more evolutions at the end. So this is something that you should definitely utilize. Basically, when you evolve a Pokemon, once it's fully evolved and you get to the stats page of the evolved Pokemon, you hit back immediately. You're going to go right to the Pokemon storage page, and then you go to the next Pokemon and rinse and repeat. This is a very fast and efficient way of getting a whole bunch of Pokemon evolved. So yeah, there you have it, folks. This is a really awesome event and you really need to utilize it to the most of its potential, because we're not going to be getting an event like this anytime soon. Go out there, catch as many of those Pokemon as you possibly can, and of course evolve as much Pokemon as you possibly can. It doesn't matter if you're level 40, because there is a potential that in the future they will increase the level cap, and you want to be ready for that, because any extra experience that you have after level 40, it could potentially count towards those additional levels. So you want to get as much experience as you can, even if you're level 40, and especially if you're not level 40 yet, this is your best bet at getting closer and closer to that end goal, right? So go out there, catch as many Pokemon, evolve as many Pokemon. Hopefully these tips have been really useful for you. And once again, if you did enjoy this video, hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. I am Count Jinsula, and I will catch you all later.